general December read. I apologize for my voice and sniffles and all of that in advance. We're going to get through it. Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Whew, also shortness of breath. There's a lot of things that we've changed on the channel, and all the information that you need is in the description box below, okay? Right away, Cancer, I just want to tell you it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay, Cancer. I feel like you are having a bit of a struggle. If it could happen, if it could be happening, I feel like you feel like it's happening. If it could crumble, I feel like you feel like it's crumbling. I feel like, what else? Like, what else? And be careful to ask that, but I feel like you're just having a rough go at it. Even financially, I feel like you feel like if the money would fix it all. No, it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't, because there's a lot of attachments that are also working against you here, Cancer. I feel like you maybe feel weak, or like you're weak in your current situation. You may feel a little bit disorganized in the month of December. You may feel like you're losing control a little bit, like you may have to cut some things off or cut some things out. You've been hearing cut back on some things. I want to reiterate and sort of drive home the fact that you do have people willing to help you, okay? You do have a support team to fall back on. I feel like your focus on some form of lie or injustice or even legal battle may be hindering you in other areas. So there may be something that's been done to you here that maybe isn't as you see it on the up and up, and I feel like you're so focused on that it may be sort of hindering you or even blocking you from manifestation in other ways, in other areas. I am so sorry. I cannot breathe. And you know, overall, I just feel like I want to take a deep breath, and I just like, can I get a break? I feel like you may feel like the world is just simply freaking crumbling down on you, and you know, it may very well be. I feel like there's some things, some solid investments, some very long-term investments that you are for the first time seriously considering walking away from. And it may just be that time. It may just be time for that. But for those of you that are feeling like, if I just had the money, it would fix it all. No. No, it wouldn't. No, it's not going to. No. Or if I just had, there's something, it's like if I just had that, or if I just had that, or if I just had that. No, that one thing isn't going to fix it, because it's very internal. Mentally too. There's a lot mentally that needs to be, yeah, life is what you make it. Life is what you make it. There's a lot of mentally, mental health could even be a thing for you. Mental struggle, thought process, being caught up on things. I am seeing, it's interesting because I'm seeing the cat as a like superstition and sort of a symbolism of luck or lack thereof, and I'm hearing lackluster, and I'm seeing like I don't have all the keys, I don't have all the answers, and I just want to fly away. I'm seeing someone that understands they need to transform But I'm seeing them kind of like want to flee the entire thing here. Interesting. Interesting. I'm seeing a perspective that needs to be changed, and I'm hearing rearranged and resituated. I'm actually seeing the Cheshire cat, and he's tipping his top hat. Interesting, and I am seeing the Mad Hatter, and it's like you may feel, Cancer, like you may be going a little bit crazy, or maybe you want to go a little bit crazy, and you know we're all mad here. But there's definitely something about the looking glass, Cancer. There's something that needs to be looked at from the other side or from a different perspective. Maybe there's a perspective or a view or even a resource that you haven't considered here yet, okay? You've got the Judgment card coming out. There's some decisions that are going to need to be made by 2020. I mean, December is going to be a hard month. There's some things that it's like, you know, I've got to decide what I want to hold on to, what I want to commit to, what I want to work for, and what's just not going to make the cut. Okay? And I'm hearing you're going to drown in those possessions. I'm looking at this Judgment here, at this bear that is not necessarily drowning but been backed up by the devil like that. It's like you can very well drown in those possessions. You can drown in those substances. You can drown in that fear. You can drown in that rage. Cancer, I am seeing a bit of rage surrounding you. I think, Cancer, with the main thing that I'm seeing here that has the why it's so important that the perspective changes. Why it's so very important that the perspective changes here is because there is a rebirth happening. There is a resurrection happening, okay? There is a transcendence among you. And you've got, it may not look how you thought it was supposed to or how it would. And so you are seeing it in a very negative light. You're lying to yourself or allowing the view or perspective to lie to you by saying just because it got stripped away or just because you may have to cut back on some things or that doesn't mean that it's all falling apart. Do you know, they're showing me a garden, and I'm seeing me myself having to prune and trim and pick and cut back the fruiting and the leaves and the dead things off of these plants, because if I don't, the entire plant's going to die, right? It's going to run its course. It's going to live its cycle. It's going to die, right? If I don't cut it. But if I cut the plant, if I continue, the more I cut the plant, the more it grows. Okay? If I cut the dead shit off the plant, then it's no longer trying to feed that dead shit and all the nutrients can go to where it needs to go. If I cut it back, you know, this way, it actually grows better this way. Whereas if I let it go all the way, grow up, it's going to be one tall, skinny, little nothing limb. Whereas if I keep trimming it back, it's going to grow full and luscious and beautiful and plenty of fruit. But it's only going to grow, if I leave that fruit because I'm scared to touch it, that fruit's going to die and it's not going to bear more fruit. You've got to pick it so that, I mean, the more you pick it, the more you trim it, the more it looks like you are taking from it and destroying it, the more it grows and gives. And that is what I am seeing, the perspective that you need to take, Cancer, in what is happening right now in your life, because I do feel like it's a huge transcendence for you going into 2020. And if you don't look at it like that, you may very well self-destruct. Okay, now we're going to get into this a little deeper. If you'd like to join me over on Vimeo and purchase the extended version of this reading, the link is in the description box below. And I will see you next time. I love you so much.